Hey there, Internet. R. Felix Finch here once again. And you know what? It is time for us to go see some things, some Lucha things, some underground Lucha things. And it's not just me. I'm here with Brittani. Brittani, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. I'm excited to do some more underground lucha things.
Yeah, so left off, we went through the first two episodes. We got to see a lot of Prince Puma and Johnny Mundo. We got to see a lot of Dario Cueto, and we're learning about Big Rick, Cisco, and Cortez. How are you liking the show so far?
I love it. I love that they're starting off with a small group of characters, starting to tell you the stories and kind of get you invested. It's not coming at you all at once. It's slowly feeding you in. So I'm already hooked. I mean, I have been. It's so entertaining.
Yeah, and again, if you want to follow us, the concept of this show, I've never watched Lucha Underground. Brittani is re-experiencing it. I'm experiencing it for the first time. And we're able to do this through the magic of Tubi TV. They are not a sponsor. I would love for them to be a sponsor, but until then, just go join us, watch it on Tubi TV. And you know what? I'll even throw a link to Amazon if you want to buy the episode on Amazon. It's worth purchasing. Who knows? Maybe once again, Lucha Underground shall rise. But we're here today to talk about episode 3, Cross the Border, which originally aired November 12th, 2014.
November. It still blows my mind that it was 2014. I'm sorry. It doesn't seem that long ago. Like, that's 6 years.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of these guys, like I said, come into their own now. And let's talk about how this opens. We open up in the office of Dario Cueto with Conan name-dropping Phoenix, Pentagon Jr., and Drago. And apparently there are some border visa issues, but they're ready to fight. So Dario decides to put them in a match against each other. And and yeah, had you heard of these three before this show?
Um, Pentagon, yes. Everyone else, no. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I had not. I had seen Pentagon before, but the other two, I had no clue who they were, and I'm saddened that I didn't, because I've gone back and I've watched stuff. But like, I was excited to see all of these new luchadors on here, because they, as we go into the first match, Dario, keeps saying that there's not enough lucha. You're complaining about there not being enough lucha. There's not enough lucha. So he brings in more lucha. I'm sorry. I love it when he makes fun of the fans and he does that little voice. He's like, not enough lucha.
Yeah, no. And I love what he does here, because he says from his favorite Mexican restaurant, El Mariachi Loco, which actually would kind of be an awesome name for a restaurant.
Oh, man. What if there is a place like that? Have you, someone out there, please send me a link if there is. If not, someone please make this place and I will be there.
Is there any good property for sale in New Orleans right
now? Good property? No.
It doesn't have to be good. But so they said that he'll get through, and he leads into the first match. So this unknown El Mariachi Loco is taking on Mascarita Sagrada, who is a well-known mini from AAA.
Mm-hmm.
And
I just love his cape.
His cape is good. And he's super over with the crowd immediately. And it is legitimate lucha action coming from him.
It is everything that people, if they were complaining about not having enough lucha, it is lucha at its core. So there you go. Here you go, fans. Here's lucha at its core. Now let's get back to the storylines.
Yeah, you obviously see in this match, the height of Mariachi Loco is what his only real advantage. Mascarita Sagrada is just able to do everything a full-size luchador can do within reason. He can even fly like a madman. And the finish is really interesting. He goes to a tilt-a-whirl DDT, and turns it into a choke on El Mariachi Loco. And as he starts fading, he small packages him for the win. I guess it's more of a mini package than a small package.
I mean, it's a micro package. It's camp. That's the thing is like Lucha is technical and it's high flying. It's beautiful. It's athletic and it's also campy at its finest. I love seeing this whole David and Goliath kind of big little. And of course, you have to have him win. I mean, and spoiler alert, you'll see him again. Don't worry. Like, I don't remember if the first guy is, but I don't remember if that restaurant ever happens. But it's a continuation. Like, I don't know. I can't remember if I drink, so I can't remember if like he's in storylines, but you will see him again. Don't worry.
Yeah, and immediately afterward, though, Chavo storms the ring and attacks the Mini. He gets serious heat for it, and they immediately cut to an in-ring interview that was previously filmed with Vampiro, where he talks about his heel turn, why he's turning on the fans, like how he's not been held with the same respect as the rest of his family, and how it's his time. Then we cut to Chavo into that spooky hallway where
I just love that every place besides the actual temple has no lighting. I love that they use all of their electric and all of their light bulbs directly onto the ring itself, and everywhere else is just this weird dimly lit kind of sewer that you're all supposed to like get ready and work out in and be comfortable in. So I really enjoy the seediness that has occurred in these hallways. And I love the sit down interviews. I mean, being an interviewer myself, I'm always just like, ooh, yeah, sit down interview. And Vampiro is actually the best guy to do those interviews when it comes to being with the wrestlers, because he's not going to be easily intimidated. It's kind of a realistic one-on-one, like, brother, like you know, we're from the same kind of scenario, like what the hell, that kind of thing. So it was nice. I like seeing those kind of interviews, and yeah, maybe we'll get some more lighting somewhere in the hallways, or someone will hurt themselves and sue Dario, and then they'll have to put lights in. I don't know.
Yeah, and Conan is the one who runs into Chavo, and apparently Chavo is pissing off the Familia down in Mexico for what he did to Blue Demon Jr., and it says won't be long till to find out what he did to Masquerita. And there's a great joke here where he says, where he tells him, become non-existent like a comprehensive immigration bill. Which, by the way, again, 2014 this joke was. Trump wasn't even on the scene yet.
Not even, but you know what? As we continue going through Lucha Underground, you will see that they are way ahead of their time. They already saw the train wreck coming. They're way ahead of their time.
This scares me now. But yeah, and in the hallway, he also runs into Mil Muertes, and we get another Katrina lick.
I told you. She licks a lot of things. She has this thing where she just has to lick people. I'm not complaining at all, but I'm just saying, like, she can't have a conversation without doing that. So just be prepared. There's a lot of licks.
But does she ever get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I don't know. I've never made it without biting. I don't know.
Yep. Next up, though, we get this feels like a bit of an enhancement match. It's Ricky Mandel versus Mil Muertes. The cool thing, though, they give Mil this backstory. Again, it's cinematic. They have this little cute kid playing Baby Mil, talking about the massive earthquake in Mexico City. And they explain that rock, that's a piece of the rubble that he was buried in, being ready to die, being ready to welcome death, but he's able to escape it and carry all that death and destruction with him. This package is awesome. I think they should have shown it before they even put him on TV.
See, I'm torn because I like that they kind of slipped it in, and I like that they kind of like, however, again, I'm still feeling like he was brought on too soon. There should have been a bigger build for him. Yeah. I feel like even in episode like that's still too soon for him to be wrestling his second opponent already. Like,
Yeah, that's a good point. And like I said, for me, I thought that it was just too soon because, again, that video package would have done a great thing to build him and maybe not even show him. And I don't think you show him as a kid. And they also named him, which is interesting. They like said what his name was before all of this, and they showed him as a kid. I think you should have kind of done something from behind where you never put a face to this little kid who's supposed to become this monster. Again,
right,
this is nitpicking and character building.
But I agree with you, because if you just show the back of the head, you don't show a face, a lot of people can then kind of relate. You know, it brings people kind of like, I mean, obviously he's a heel, but I'm just saying, like, people who like bad guys could relate, be like, I was that kid, like I feel that way, you know, that kind of thing. You don't put a face into, unless it was maybe it was somebody's actual kid and they were like, I want my kid on camera. Like, I don't know. Like, what, who knows? I don't know who the kid is. Like, I didn't dive that deep. I didn't go to the underground part of Lucha Underground. I didn't dive that deep to find out who the kid actually was. So I don't know about that one.
Well, it's a pretty quick match. Mil Muertes wins with his flatliner. Again, I just don't think the flatliner is fitting. That's just me. I don't know what would go with his character, but I just don't think it's devastating enough. Especially because, like, he really doesn't get a lot of air when he does his jumping flatliner. He kind of more like lifts up and then falls back.
Yeah, it's almost like he's like a giant tree, and he just kind of like falls on you. Like, he's just like, I'm gonna say though, this flatliner looked better than the last one. It looked a little bit more impactful. I don't know if it's the opponent. I don't know if it's him. I can't tell quite. But I did like it. What I loved about this match was the commentary coming from Matt Stryker. If you listened to the commentary coming from Matt Stryker, all he was talking about at one point, Katrina's clapping, and he's like, yeah, clap for him. Clap all you want, because of obvious reasons. And then she's at one point slapping the mat, and he's like, you can slap that mat for Mil all you want. And I'm just like, Matt, you're making it real obvious. Like, you know, it's just, and then the whole lick, and then at the end, the whole licking thing happened. And Matt was like, does this turn anybody else on? Am I weird?
Okay, that was
weird.
Yeah, I got that. It was strange. I was like, man, did you phone Jerry Lawler before you started doing this commentary?
It was the best, and poor Vampiro's just over there like, yeah, Mil, yeah. And then Matt's making these really like dirty old man comments, and I'm just like, whoa, guys. Like, they still went really well together, but it was just really funny to kind of hear Matt so blatantly into Katrina. I was like, all right, dude, we get it. Noted.
Yeah, and once again, we go into a spooky hallway with Cisco and Cortez outside of Dario's office when they're confronted by Johnny Mundo, who easily beats both of them down in a confined space and invades Cueto's office, demanding a match with Big Rick next week. So Dario makes that the main event. And when we come back, Big Rick is getting paid hundreds of dollars, and Cueto says he'll even write him a check, just put Mundo in a hospital. And again, this is great for Big Rick. Why he wasn't out there with his henchmen, what his henchmen were doing outside the office when he was nowhere around is just beyond me. But I do like the way they're presenting him.
I do too. And I mean, like, he is huge. Oh my goodness. He is Big Rick. And I like that he's this I don't work for free like kind of scenario where he's like, nah, you got to pay me a lot of money to do what you want to. If not, I'm just going to send my lackeys and I'm going to sit here and smoke a cigar and call it a day. Whereas if you pay me all of this money, yes, I'll go beat Johnny Mundo for you or whoever. Like, don't care, but you got to pay me. So I like that kind of scenario because he's a gun for hire. So that also means that anyone could pay him and he's just going to beat up whoever. So it doesn't really matter that it's coming from Dario. It matters that it's coming, that money's coming. that kind of thing. So I like Big Rick. I'm excited to see this match, but I like Big Rick so far. I don't like him but I like his character.
Nice. And then we get another look at Prince Puma, where again they are building him as a big star. They're still kind of being vague about his past and his heritage, but they're obviously positioning him, and because they even put Prince Puma only on Lucha Underground on the other thing, and he's not even on the show tonight. So he gets he's getting quite the feature spot.
Yeah, he just gets to kind of chill. He's had multiple lives. The mask has been passed down, but he's going to be this kind of like poster child for Lucha Underground. Like, he is the poster child for Lucha, is where they're kind of billing him as, is this ultimate, face of Lucha Underground and of Lucha itself, which is just weird from Konnan, because Konnan also in the beginning of the show was like, I brought in 3 other people, but also Prince Puma's the best, but I brought in these 3 other people that are really good too. I'm like, where do you lie, Konnan? Like, who are you backing? Like, who is it? So I don't know. I guess he's gonna just have enough options in case one of them wins, and then he's like, I did that. That was me.
We have our main event, which is Drago versus Felix versus Pentagon Jr. First off, Drago's mask, his entrance attire, his entire look of a dragon is exquisite. I absolutely love it. And like I said, of these 3, I had heard of Pentagon Jr. I had not heard of Drago and Phoenix before when this time would have been. I've heard of Phoenix since then because I've actually worked shows with him. But yeah, I thought this was a great grouping, and putting them in a triple threat was a really good idea.
I love this. First of all, just the fact that they're all so talented. They work so well together. It flows so well. It's choreographed, but also not. It's one of those things of, you don't watch and go, oh, they just choreographed this whole thing. It's just spot fest, whatever. It flows so beautifully. And I love rope tricks. I am a huge fan of rope tricks. So seeing people bounce from the top to the middle to the top again and then flip, I will watch that all day long. I do not care. That is my favorite thing. Like, that is talent in itself. If you've ever tried to balance on a rope, it is hard. And for them to bounce up and down and back and forth and over and out, like, so much talent. I love it.
Also, especially Pentagon Jr., their strikes are hard. Those overhand chops are like shotguns coming out. There is some heavy hitting here. It does fall into the standard triple threat trap of 2 men fight, 1 man kind of powders, which is my least favorite trope in wrestling. It's why I hate any match with an odd number of competitors. But we even get some really cool stuff, especially Phoenix jumping from the top of the temple down onto the other 2. It's a real fun, a lot of action. The finish is Phoenix getting the win with a reverse Rana, and the crowd just going ballistic.
That crowd was insane, and I paid attention this time to the crowd from episode 2 to episode 3, and it is a different crowd. I don't know if it'll be a different crowd in episode 4. I'll have to pay attention, but it was a different crowd. So they're not keeping the same crowd. At least they're not keeping the same crowd for a long period of time to where you'd notice. So if they are just doing matches all the way through. So I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I actually looked it up, and they're filmed on different dates, which surprised me, because I just assumed you'd get a chunk out during one day, a chunk out during another. But it looks like they were taped on different days, so they're probably in front of different crowds. Because of how little actual wrestling there is, I'm going to guess that there were warm-up matches. This was probably the middle section to make sure the crowd was as hot as it could be, and then maybe finish off with a bigger event that only the people there get to see. I don't know. I have some Lucha Underground talent I can ask. So when we get to that, I definitely will.
Or anybody who's been to Lucha Underground and seen it, like that's watching this, like tell us.
Yeah, there's a guy.
If you went to a taping.
Yeah, there's a guy at the beginning of this episode that I've been asked on several occasions if that's me, and I'm like, man, A, I can't grow facial hair, and B, I would have really let myself go at that point. I mean, I'm maybe not the greatest right now, but I mean, it's like I'm not that guy. But it was when I had my hair long and stuff, so I get that when it was still long and natural. But in our end credit scene, we see that Dario Cueto is seemingly in a jail doing some recruiting. It's dark and ominous.
It is very dark and ominous. I'm not going to give away any spoilers on this one because I know it's coming, but you guys don't know it's coming. And it's still exciting to me, even though I do know it's coming. So it is very ominous. I love that, again, the jail cell almost had more lighting than the entire hallway.
You're not wrong.
Because the jail cell had enough lighting to cast a huge shadow over Dario of whatever this person is. Because clearly it's a person that he's talking to. And he says that he's not afraid of anyone, not even you. So he's not afraid of this person that's in this cell. So dun dun dun.
Who knows? But that ends episode 3. And what were your thoughts on this episode, Brittany?
I love it. The flow, the again, still storytelling, bringing in new characters now, new people to put into storylines, but still continuing on with the old, like they're still feeding you people, you know, little by little, which is nice because a lot of these luchadors, a lot of them, American mainstream does not know. And this was being broadcast on cable network, on the El Rey channel. This was being broadcast, you know, in that kind of form. So, of course, anybody who had cable could have accessed this. And, you know, casual wrestling fan who's like, oh, okay, I'll go check this out, isn't going to know who any of these people are. You know, so it's one of those things of them slowly feeding it, I think is the most genius thing to do, because it doesn't bombard you with like, oh, who's that guy, or who's that chick in a mask, and then that one, and then there's, you know, that guy over there, and there's sparkles and blah 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 blah. Like no one knows. So to have this little droplings of talent in here is my favorite part about this Lucha Underground thus far, is that I'm getting to know everyone and the tension is building.
I do love that they had some humor there with Mariachi Loco. I thought that the use of a mini was, again, another really bold choice. I thought it was great. It surprised me. And the exposition of Lucha is just pretty stellar. Again, this is like, if you're in Southern California, you're close to the border, you're probably a little more familiar with this kind of stuff. But for a national audience, this is groundbreaking. This is new. This is a good Lucha thing. So anyway, Brittany, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me everywhere on social media at LookIt'sBrittany, or you can find me at lookitsbrittany.com.
And for me, you could find me at FriscoFlame.com. You can find me everywhere as Frisco Flame or as R. Felix Finch, depending. And this show, again, we'll still find out where it's going, so I haven't put it up yet. I haven't put up a podcast link, but hey, this is the early days of filming. I'm getting a few in the can before we get the entire process set up. So I apologize, under construction. But again, thank you, Brittany, for Brittany and for myself. This is Underground Lucha Things. Peace out, party peoples. We will see you next time.